All right, my name's JM2 with USA Crypto Group, and today we're going to be doing RocketFI. So first off, to start this, I want to get a little bit about your guys' background, what brought you to crypto, and what made you and your team interested in starting this project.
So I'm actually one of the co-founders, me and Vic, which I'm not sure if he's going to make it right now, but we've been best buds for a little over 10 years, and we've been into throughout our friendship, we've been involved in a lot of different projects, and crypto's one thing that we always shared in common that we were both passionate about. I work in telecom engineering for a profession, and so Vic was involved in the entertainment industry. He's out from LA, so he had experience with consumer startups, and so we got together and we were like, hey, let's try to. We had a vision for what we wanted to do with our project short term, but it's later evolved into more of a long term thing. And then Ernan, I don't remember when you joined along. When was that?
I joined when we were still going to be safe for Flet. Oh, as part of the core team.
Yeah. When did
December.
You join the core team?
That was in December.
Yeah. So me and Vic, we've known each other for years. We met Ernan directly through. He actually started off as a holder. He was one of our most active community members and holders, and so we made him a proposal, and he accepted it. And luckily, we all by coincidence ended up actually being near each other location wise. So that was a great plus. It helps having a team that one is close, and two that knows each other. And so Ryan later joined, and John, he's another person that's part of the development team, and he's also a longtime friend since college. So we have a group of people that are pretty close knit, and so we're all passionate about what we're doing, and we're trying to bring something new to the space that hasn't been done before, and so that's where we are now. So
Perfect. So everybody on the team, from what I'm gathering, knows each other in person, and you have a relationship outside of crypto then? Or I know you said that one of your guys was basically an investor.
Yeah. So well, that's Ernan. Now he's a close friend, right? But Vic, he was actually my best man at my wedding, and so that'll give you an idea of how well we know each other, and so.
Perfect. So how'd you guys come up with the idea for EarnPay, which is now being changed over to RocketFI?
Well, originally, at the time when me and Vic were looking at different projects, we were seeing, a lot of tokens were coming out with single reflections. And so we were always interested in figuring out how we could diversify, right? That's a big thing that people always talk about and recommend is just, diversifying your position. And so we had an idea of, hey, what if we had a token that let you choose how you wanted to diversify, and EarnPay was sort of the initial concept that we had. I was still early learning in Solidity, and once I became a lot more proficient, then RocketFI is something that came to vision, and we felt confident we could execute. And so what we have now is a platform that lets you diversify your reflections without losing your owed amount by position. So you don't have to worry about whether you're in a pool that necessarily reflects more than another. All of our reflection pools you can subscribe to 100%. So our token could become just a BUSD reflection token, or if you wanted it to be 50% BUSD and then 50% ADA, and you want to get rewarded your total load reflection position, you could do that. And so that's one of the exciting things that we have with this project, and all without having to stake your tokens. So you can do this while still keeping your tokens in your wallet, and you can diversify your reflections on a lot of the pool selections that we have. And right now we're allowing up to 10 subscriptions. That means you can, if you wanted to do 10% across each pool, you could. And so that's really where things started. And so, you know, that vision continues to evolve. And so we have other short-term products already that we're beginning to test that contribute to the ecosystem that we're bringing. And so the biggest focus we have is how do we engage holders across just the ecosystem, not just, you know, having people hold, right? And so we decided to implement different ideas to reward you for actually engaging. And in RocketFI, we have a platform called Rocket Fuel. And Rocket Fuel is our native reflection, RocketFI. And you don't, and this is separate from the what we call smart reflection profiles, which was what I was brought up earlier. The Rocket Fuel system is a built-in native payment rewards system that we have that, one, lets you, every time you pay someone with RocketFI, it rewards you with RocketFI. We have something called the Pay Boost, which accumulates over time and is instantly claimable whenever you pay a friend. And there is a cooldown period on it, and so that prevents too many people from making claims. We also have what's called a Buy Boost. So every time you buy, there's a chance for you to win an additional boost in RocketFI tokens. And then the other one we have is called the burn pool. And so we have a burn function in our contract that interacts with a feature called Rocket Play, which lets you burn tokens for a chance to win a bigger reward pool that's also in RocketFI. And so by engaging in this ecosystem, you know, by, you know, paying friends, by later on we're going to have additional products that interact with the Rocket Fuel system. You build a position in what's called Ernie gave it the name Forever Stake, and the reason he calls it that is because you essentially earn a position in the transaction taxes that go through, whether it's a buy or a sell, and you actually get rewarded in RocketFI. And the more you engage, the more Rocket Fuel you get, and so the more Rocket Fuel you get, the higher your position is in this tax. So you no longer have to necessarily hold a huge bag to earn. You can earn by engaging in our platform as well. So I know that's a lot to take in. So
yeah, so I was gonna kind of frame it in there, but you started hitting it up a little bit before that point, which is fine. It's definitely some interesting concepts. So when you're saying that you get added additional rewards, that's getting pulled from the pool of tokens. So when you're doing the referrals and getting some of these things, are there any tokens that are being burned at the same time, or is that only per your buy, sell, and trade transactions?
So we do have a burn function within transactions, but right now we only have one active pool that you engage with, where you burn your tokens and then you have a chance to be rewarded in it. Now, for every token you do burn, you earn Rocket Fuel, and so that Rocket Fuel is what essentially gives you a forever position in our Rocket Fuel reward system.
Definitely. So I was looking at that. I think it was called something else different on the site when I was looking at it. The black hole, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah. So that was the old earn pay terminology. So you know, we decided to switch the naming to boost pools, because essentially that's what we're trying to do, is boost certain transactions, whether it's burning, whether it's paying, whether it's buying. And so later, staking will be integrated into that reward system.
Perfect.
As well.
So with that, do you have a cap on how much you can burn to the pool? And what is the percentage of release based on rewards when you're inputting? So let's say I put in a million tokens in there. What's the highest cap that you can receive potentially in rewards? Or is it just a straight burn?
It's a straight burn. So right now, let's say you just burn 1 million tokens, you'll get, let's say, 1 million rocket fuel. If 9 other people burn 1 million, then you now have a 10% position in what is the rocket fuel tax that comes from transactions.
Okay. And then do you guys have a thought or idea of potentially matching a user? So I think that'd be pretty effective, another encouragement. So they might get a higher percentage, like you said, but if you guys were to put in, let's say someone puts in 500,000 tokens and you guys match that, that'd essentially be like burning tokens from the community, which would make a more scarcity and supply and increase value.
So we haven't actually matched burning supply. What we've done is a little different in concept, and it's what's called where we fund some of the boost pools and encourage burning that way. And so that's sort of a way that we give back to that we engage holders as well.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I was looking at the correct site. Do you guys have an updated one, or does it still have some of the older terminology on there?
Are you looking at RocketFI.money or are you looking at EarnPay.money?
This is the one that was from your pinned messages. So I might have been looking at the older version because it still had on the timeline that the CMC had been applied, but not necessarily received.
I believe you're looking at EarnPay.money. Try RocketFI.money.
All right, so I'll switch to the next question then, since that's been updated. So for the taxes, I had a couple questions and concerns with that. I saw that you had the anti-whale tax. So that's for 30%. That's pretty high, in my opinion. So if I were to be a whale investor, what would be? So you've removed that?
Yes. So there is no more whale tax. The whale tax was something we had in place just at the beginning to avoid trying to get dumped on, right? Now our long-term strategy is to become a low tax token and fund rewards through additional revenue streams, right? So we are a registered entity, and so that's something that we're is in the works right now. So long term, we want to be our strategy is to implement low taxes for buys and sells. Short term, we will be making adjustments, and so right now we do have them at 10, 20. We've gotten feedback from the community as far as a tax system that might be a little more appealing, and so definitely is something that we is in our radar at the moment.
Okay, yeah, because I saw that the buy tax was quite a bit less than your sell tax. So that was another thing I was going to bring up, but it sounds like you're already working on that with the community. Do you guys usually do like polls, or how do you decide how to change your taxes?
So at the moment, it's feedback from the community and also discussions internally and strategizing for our roadmap and where we want to be. So most of it's internal discussions and just revisiting where we are as far as progress we've made since launch and seeing what adjustments need to be made. So the things like that are things that we continue to do. So like the the well tax, that's something we decided to drop because we didn't think it had the value anymore that it was originally designed for. And so, that's one thing that we do like to do is evolve the project, right? And so continuously adapting to really what the space is asking and what the community is asking.
Definitely. So one thing I really did like, and I kind of highlighted it, was the 0.5% transfer fee. I thought that was pretty reasonable. Just in case people need to split wallets, things happen. Maybe a wallet gets compromised. That's pretty effective versus having a large tax on there that would punish a user from doing that. Do you have plans on making free transfers in the future, or are you going to keep it at the 0.5?
I think we might long term drop the transfer tax, just because even at 0.5, it does right now. It really.
You're under arrest, Agent Hartley. Look at me. Look at my eyes.
Are you still there?
I think Shorty's in the blockchain. Clint, you're unmuted, dude. I think where Shorty was going with that, yeah, we're looking to go to 0% on the transfer tax, because when we started this project, it was going to be a payment reward. So we wanted people sending these tokens to one another as a form of payment. And, we're going to be encouraging that more with our future applications that we got coming, especially with the wallet that we're currently developing. And, we do want people sending it freely around. So when we have ways to reward people for sending those tokens. So that's kind of the direction we're going with that.
Okay. And then you did have the friend referral or transfer program where you get a percentage for doing that. Does the receiver of the tokens also get a reward? And then how do you prove, or does it really matter if they're a friend, or is that just the general terminology that you guys used?
You're talking about the Rocket referral system that we're developing? Yeah, that's basically the person who refers will get the reward from it. Now, the buyer will get a discount on that sale. So they'll have a lower sales or buy tax when they make that purchase. But the way that's going to operate is on our Rocket Swapper in our D app, they'll actually be able to put each of the referrals' personal codes. Like my code, for instance, is going to be EARN, EARN, and it's not available yet. So don't try. I'm not trying to plug my code, but you would just simply type that in under the amount of BNB that you're wanting to purchase for the RocketFI, and you would get that tax break on it, and then I would get a piece of that transaction. We're looking probably 1% to 2%, somewhere in that area, for the referral system.
Perfect. And then funding for this, I'm assuming is going to come from marketing and utility funds, or
hey everyone, I'm sorry about that. I got this.
No worries. Welcome back. So I had a question on the referral. So if you guys are paying a reward to the referrer and the referee, where does the funds come from that?
Oh, basically that will be coming out of the tax. So, say our buy tax is currently at 10%. If you use the Rocket referral, that 10% would still be taxed, but when you go through that swapper, it will pull that 1%, 2% out of that tax and send it to the referrer. And then, of course, the referee will get that break off of that tax also. So it would actually bring you down to like a 9% or 7 to 6% tax. We don't really know the exact numbers we're going to use yet. We're still considering options on that.
Okay.
But on oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. I don't want to hear what you had to say.
Oh, and another thing on those referrals, we have something, and Shorty touched on it, was the buy boost, where you have a chance of winning the buy boost pools, which I believe the current one right now is at 17 million. It's like an extra $18 to $19 worth of RocketFI on the if you win that, and it's like a 25% chance on each buy over 25 million. Well, these referrals, each person that has a referral code will also have their own buy boost pool that people can win. So they can like refer people, and they can even add to that pool and say, I want to really push my referral code. So I might throw 100 million into my buy boost pool and put it out there. Hey, you can win 100 million tokens if you use my code, and you'll get a tax break. So we're trying to think of ways to make our community earn their keep,
Definitely. Okay. So for your guys' new staking pools and your rewards, I know you were talking about making everything automatic versus the manual input. Has that been implemented and tested fully, or is that something that's still in works?
What do you mean by manual to automatic? Which part are you talking about exactly?
So I was going through the site. It was saying that you had the manual rewards coming through. So is that all automatic?
Oh, okay. Yeah. On EarnPay, we had to actually distribute those manually.
So everything. So just to make some corrections. So the reflections are automatic. They're purchased automatically. They're distributed automatically. Right now, the BUSD pool is the only pool, since we have a lot of pools and auto deposits are transaction based. Right now, with the current products that we drop with this initial transition to RocketFI, we're only triggering deposits on the BUSD pool directly to your wallet. Later, we'll integrate the deposits across all the other pools when we release some of the other products that will include some of those processing across some of those transactions. And so reflections are purchased automatically by the contract. The BUSD reflections are auto deposited on a queue, and in future pools will have auto deposit once we incorporate some of the products that we have short term and long term.
That's great. I really like that. So with all the different options you have, how did do you have a partnership, or how did you go about deciding which tokens you wanted? Was that a community think tank, or?
Really, it was a mixture. A lot of the projects that we've partnered up with, we have very passionate, active community members that help bridge us and bring us together, and a lot of those. I wouldn't say about half of those partnerships were like that, and then the other half were us reaching out, because either we liked the project, or we thought it would be a useful project to also spread the word on. And so one thing that we do ensures that our partners, whenever we put the partner badge on the DApp, those tokens are tax free. So they all are purchase and transaction tax free to your wallet.
Perfect. And then I was looking at your guys' DApp a little bit, and I was looking at the Mega Pay winner and some of that. Is that still good to go? And then how do you guys work that? And I guess what's the ratio when people are inputting for that? Because I know it says last winner, last winning time. Is that something that's still in works?
Yeah, that's actually the old DApp. The new DApp, which we just released yesterday. It's
Gotcha.
app, and we have the Mega Pay. Yeah, that's still, but it's different. It's called the Burn Boost now, and essentially you just burn 1 million tokens, and you have a chance of winning that that pool of tokens, and sometimes it gets fairly big pretty fast depending on the volume, because what drives that is a portion of the taxes that goes into that, and then the more people that are burning, the higher that pool gets as well.
Okay. Perfect. And then can you guys start explaining some of the new changes to your project and how you've made improvements from version 1, and why you think that someone like myself who doesn't have an investment in your project should get on board, and some of the things that are up and coming for you?
Do you want me to answer that or no?
Yeah, I went to unmute and you unmuted. I was like, all right, look.
Okay, so repeat that first part for me.
Yeah, so since I'm learning about this project and I'm not currently an investor, what would you say would be a defining reason for someone like me to come into this project with the changes from your version 1 to version 2? How would you sell a person?
Gotcha. So one thing we want to say is transparency and reachability, right? One thing is how within reach are you to the project team? And I think that's one thing that we pride ourselves in, is taking feedback from the community and being within reach, right? And so being able to work one-on-one, and that's something that we do because we're passionate about what we're doing, and I think that more so, not just a project and what we're doing, and the goals that we have to try to diversify and create something that's engaging, but also how the leaders and the leadership resonate with the community. And so I think that's one thing that I always want to invite people, is to come into our Telegram and get a feel for our community and see how resourceful and helpful they are. And so that's one thing that we pride ourselves in. And one, we have a lot of projects have a no-shill policy. We openly like discussing or we like it when community members bring up projects that have legitimacy in a space that has a lot of fraud. And so that's one thing that we're passionate about. And so genuity and just trying to give easy access to investors to information regarding what they're investing in. And so I don't know if you want to add anything else, Adam.
Yeah, that sums it up. I mean, we've been, the Shorty and Vic, they were very transparent from the beginning. I've been in the community from the very beginning when there was about 5, 7 of us. It wasn't very many, and they were always, upfront, and they gained my trust real early, and I kind of bonded with them well and made my way into the team, and it's and there's I mean, I don't want to try to push our rewards, because they are there's a lot of room for you to diversify your portfolio with what we have, and and the things that we have coming, the wallet app, which is going to be a much different look on an app or a wallet, and it's going to provide utilities and visibility for new investors when they get into that wallet and they see advanced stats, social links. We're looking into having certain social APIs integrated into the wallet itself, so you get the say you get pinned messages from a Telegram group for that token in your wallet. We want to bring more of the DApp utilities that are out there and implement them into the wallet, to where you don't actually have to go to a DApp browser. And we want to help the new investors and and try to get rid of a lot of the scamming that's going on out there.
Okay, so essentially you're trying to make your own ecosystem for ease of use versus having to go through 10 different project dApps to figure out the same thing, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah, exactly. And dApps, websites, everything. We want to be able to bring all that information to them in their wallet, along with some BSC scan ideas that we have in the works. You know, we want to make it easier for people to know what is on the BSC scan. You know, a lot of people that even been in this space for a while still look at BSC scan and don't really understand anything about it.
Okay. So with your new version 2, could you give me a couple of the highlights of your favorite part of the project and why that's important?
Well, I'm slightly greedy. I mean, a lot of us are in here for money and financial gain. I like that I can pick, from a range of tokens to reflect in. And that's not going to just stop with our smart reflection system. That is also going to be implemented into our staking system. And the staking will receive at a higher reward rate than the reflection system does that, when that's implemented. But yes, I like the money.
Yeah, like how you had a couple more stable coins for options in there, just in case the market is bad and there's a more reasonable potential for return or less loss of gain for your portfolio. So I thought that was pretty important. But with your staking options, what kind of taxes are you looking at to get into the pools, or are they free? And then do you guys have a fee for pulling out of the staking pools, or is it open, come and go?
Well, there will be. I'm not sure if we set a time on. Did we have a?
Yeah. So version 2 of the staking platform is still in development right now. So there's previously we did have a tax of 10% on our previous platform that went towards what we called additional pools that rewarded you for engaging with the staking platform. But we had a short timer of 7 days, so you only had to be committed to being in there for 7 days. We did have a way to drop that timer, and it was by engaging with what we called the Ultra Pay, similar to the Mega Pay, but the Ultra Pay rewarded you not just in earn pay, but it rewarded you in all the tokens that were in the staking platform. So like the Mega Pay, you would get earn pay. With the addition of it was Auto Crypto, 88 Cash, and Doken. And so part of that early unstaking fee went towards that pool. Now it's not clear if we're gonna. It's not definite if we're gonna continue that with this next platform. But that the next staking is in the works right now. So there's a lot that's still undecided.
Yeah. Okay. And then with that, are you guys planning on having it audited before you release it to make sure that it's a valid contract where all parties are in unison and that there's no glitches in there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, that's one thing that we'll be doing. And as a registered entity, there are some contracts that will remain proprietary. And that's because we do have liability behind us. And so, secondly, we are in it to give back to this space, and so we will be publishing contracts as we release new updated ones as well. And so the RocketFI contract is the first one that will be audited. We just we're still in the process of migrating everyone, and so that's one of our top priorities. But to answer your question, yes, we will be getting staking contracts audited.
All right. Will you be auditing some of the other aspects as well, or just the staking contract?
Just the staking contract, because your actual RocketFi goes in there. So all the other contracts that are across the ecosystems don't require you to put RocketFi in them. And so those are proprietary contracts that have different mechanisms and are essentially upgradable contracts. And so those will continue to change and update as we provide new releases. But those are more mechanic-based contracts that do not touch your RocketFi itself, without at least you engaging and yourself, taking action. But for the most part, the external contracts are the reflection pools, the reflection pool manager that manages all of our reflection pools and subscriptions. And so those are just there's no RocketFi that's stored in there. We keep a mirrored balance in that contract of every transaction. And so we use that to build on top of and then expand our what we do with our platform. So what you will see in the RocketFi contract is that we do fund these, the taxes do fund these external contracts, and they're basically for the different features that we offer. One is the reflection pools, two is for the rocket play, and two is the rocket fuel rewards. And so those are in our transfer code, and so those will be part of the that's obviously part of the audit, right? So.
Perfect. And then I know that you guys are pretty much right on the dot with the 100 days before releasing liquidity. So is quite a bit of that going to go to like an airdrop for the contract, or what are you doing with that?
So the LP we're going to lock up again. We're still in the process of a lot of our migration. So, but like I mentioned before, the one benefit we offer to our shareholders is that we do have a registered entity, and our information is out there. So while we're not putting our whole Social Security out there, our legal registered companies are out there too. So, and so that's there's some assurance there that we can offer, and so. But again, it's locking our liquidity is something that is key, and that we'll be doing. So.
Perfect. I think that's about what I have right now for questions. We're going to open up to the floor, or if you have anything else that you feel like you haven't discussed that you'd like to touch up on a little bit more about the project, that'd be great.
Yeah. You had mentioned about the smart reflection system having BUSD and ADA. Well, it's not going to stop at what it is. The 10 is not going to be the limit. We are going to be adding other pegged tokens as well, possibly BTC, Ethereum, Solana, some of your other ones out there, and that will be going to the staking portion as well.
I guess that brings up another question. With your staking pool, for the requirement, are you just using native token to stake, or can you stake other tokens to get to that are within your staking pool? So what I mean by that is, if you have a BUSD pool, can you stake BUSD to BUSD, or how does that work? Or can you only use the RocketFi token to stake into the BUSD?
Well, see, it'll be you stake RocketFi currently. Who knows, in the future we may introduce some other forms of staking like that, but the ones that will be launched here in a few weeks, you'll simply just stake your RocketFi. And the way our staking works, our contract will actually go out and buy these other partner tokens and distributes them into to the holders that are in those staking pools. And there's not any funding of our staking pools. So say most of your other staking pools out there, people or projects fund them. Like say Doken, if I want someone to stake for Doken or stake for RocketFi on the Doken platform, I actually have to send however many I'm wanting to issue out to Doken for them to stake with. But our contract is different. We actually go out and buy that token. And that's why we do the whitelisting, because we want to exempt those fees when we go out and buy that. And then we have to transfer it to the holders themselves. And the staking pools will work the same way as the reflection system will, whereas it does not matter which staking pool I'm in. If I'm supposed to earn $100 a week based on the volume, I can be in whatever pool I want to be in, and I'm still going to earn $100 worth of that token. Or if you're split into multiple pools.
Okay. So with your pools, do you guys have a fixed rate then? Since you're saying that you kind of have a predetermined amount, do you have a calculator, or how does the customer know?
We don't do a fixed rate. It's based on volume purely. That a portion of the taxes go to the staking.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how many people. So let's say we have 100 people in there, you're going to get a smaller portion of the pool. So maybe
no, you won't get a smaller. It's dynamic across all pools. So if I'm staking in a pool that everybody else is staked in, it does not matter. If based on my market share, I'm going to receive that portion in. No, it doesn't matter how many people are in that pool or the other pools.
So it's directly correlated with the size of your bag, then.
Yes,
that's correct. We okay. You know, one of our gateway contract goes through and pulls your position in every single pool. You know, so there's overall position that's managed. And, you know, we distribute the BNB proportionate to those pools at all times. So,
yes.
And those pools are updated with every transaction, you know, whether it's a buy, sell, and, you know, every time there's a balance change. So they're dynamic with every transaction.
Okay. So what's your guys' plans to encourage small holders to invest in a staking pool, or let's say do the burn? What's their incentive to use these extra utilities through your project?
Well, the burn, you can actually win a prize pool. Now the staking, there's no set time limit on our staking. So if you feel like a lot of staking pools only last 30 days, or ours are indefinite.
Okay, so I wasn't sure about your guys' answer earlier for the taxes on that, because you said you were still kind of deciding that. Are you going to have a no transaction fee for the pool, or from the removal from the staking pool, or are you going to keep it with a tax for withdrawing?
The withdrawal tax is only if you do it through that period of time, which what we had on EarnPay was 7 days. So if you waited till day 8, you got out free. That was just the early withdrawal tax.
Okay. So do you have set parameters then? I don't think we covered that.
No, not currently.
Like 7, 14, 30, or are you just going to have an open pool where people can jump in and out without taxes?
Well, we will more than likely have like a 7-day timer possibly, but it will just be universal across all the pools. There won't be like changing, some pools have.
So one thing we do want to minimize is inconveniences, right? And so whether we bring that timer down further or that tax further, or eliminate it completely, it's eliminating is something that ideally we'd like to do. And so if we can incorporate the other forms of engagement within our staking platform. So, in our staking platform, we had other ways that you could engage with your tokens that were already staked. You could actually use your staked tokens for the ultra pay. And part of that tax from those tokens that were used for rolling for the ultra pay went back to the holders for reflections actually. And so, there's different strategies that we're trying and different ways that we're trying to think on how do we balance out a dynamic reward system without it being without it penalizing you too much with holding your tokens, right? So our strategy is to minimize that as much as we can. So.
Perfect. Thank you for the explanation. If anybody has any questions this time, that would be great.
You have one in chat here. The question is, when would the D app for staking be released, and do you have an estimated time frame on that?
That D app is going to be the same D app we use for the reflection system, and we're thinking probably a couple weeks, Shorty, somewhere in that ballpark, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll definitely. So next, right now with the launch happening, the next sync up that we have with the team as far as when we review migration, everything, how it went, and on our and discuss what we're going to do for the rest of April and May in terms of a product release. We have a few items that we developed in parallel that we're just going to decide which ones we release first. So we'll be announcing that hopefully end of next week, early April. So we're just right now trying to work through any support that comes from the migration, and so that's really where our focus is right now. But we will have dates sooner than later.
Okay, and do you guys plan on generating a new roadmap and a white paper for RocketFI?
Yes, so that's something that's actually in the works right now by Vic. So he's aiming to have the website. The new updated website and the white paper by this weekend. So there's a lot of moving parts right now that we're going through, the rebranding and retransitioning a lot of the information as well. So that's something that is in the works. So.
And for my last question too is for the original holders, are those guys getting some sort of bonus for the migration?
There is a bonus that you get in Rocket Fuel rewards, and so with Rocket Fuel, it's the way that we envision it is that we reward you with Rocket Fuel for engaging, and that just doesn't go with staking or burning, but even taking the hit on gas for buying reflections or doing things like claiming your tokens where it saves us gas. We reward you with that Rocket Fuel that gives you a position in that RocketFi native rewards reflections. And so that's one incentive we're offering right now. We're giving everyone about roughly 24 hours from when we launched the D app to claim those, and then we'll begin airdropping the rest.
Yeah, and the ones that are airdropped won't receive that 50 million Rocket Fuel. It's only the ones that pay the gas to claim their tokens, so we don't have to use gas to send them to them.
That's smart. I do like that. That's all I have for questions. Thank you.
So we had one more in the chat. Who are you guys going to use for the audit? Are you going to go through the gold standard with CertiK, or are you going to go with one of the medium range like DesertFi, Tech Audit, some of those other ones?
So those all are on our list right now, and we're reviewing those. And so hopefully by next week we've made that decision. But those they are on our list, and so not sure if we're doing CertiK or Desert, but looks like those are one of our top twos. But
yeah, we looked at CertiK, and you're a ways out on wait time for CertiK right now because they're backed up.
Fair enough. So I guess if you guys don't have any additional inputs for anything you think you missed during the AMA, Could you give us a short pitch for why we should do RocketFI and why you think it's going to be the project of 2022?
You want me to take that one, Shorty?
Well, I was going to say, because we let you reflect however you want to reflect and earn in different ways that many projects won't. And so we emphasize on earning on transactions.
Yes. That and the reward pools, you got the burn to earn, you'll have the staking coming. I mean, there's so many ways that you can engage with the D app and earn, make your bag bigger by how much you want to contribute, and it's not really going to be such a burden on you financially to do so. That and this rocket fuel and the RocketFI token itself are going to become a much bigger ecosystem when we do bring out this wallet app. So there's a lot of implications that are going to build from all of this. And there's some details I can't really talk about because we're still, some in the idea stage and some in the development stage that we don't want to release quite yet.
Okay, we have one question also here in chat from Ricky. What are the major milestones RocketFI has achieved so far?
Well, right now I want to say that our RocketFI contract itself that we just released, it's one of our first big milestones because it's a contract that can be upgraded to modular. It's going to offer a lot of flexibility with what we can do in the future. And so that's and then it's cheap in gas. And so not just does it offer flexibility and robustness, it's low in gas, right? And you still benefit from a lot of rewards for a lot of ways to earn rewards without having to spend too much on gas. And so, that's code efficiency and making something complicated simple is pretty big right now on our for us, having just launched in December and going through a whole contract upgrade in 3 months and launching something that is different, that hasn't been done yet, where you can diversify on demand.
All right, looks like we have another question from the chat from Endorsey. Do you guys plan on releasing NFTs, and how will they integrate with the ecosystem if you do?
So we do have ideas of NFTs. Like, we can't disclose how we're going to do it, but they're not so focused on art. But so they're very focused on merchants, and so I'll leave it there without giving away too much. But it will be in a roadmap that will be published.
Yes, and there will be it's a NFT marketplace, so that it is going to be a big deal, and it's going to be different. It's yes. Than what you're used to seeing. So correct.
So from the sounds, that sound more like a utility-based NFT than it is just straight art.
Correct.
Yes, that will be the main purpose of it. Yes.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
That's it from me.
All right. So
we do have another questions from the member that cannot be here today. So he was wondering if you guys, everything will be tested and audited before you guys release the platform.
The platform.
The staking platform?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely the staking platform something. Given the recent increase in vulnerabilities and exploits, that have been rising. I know that's something that's critical. So it's definitely our priority to ensure that you feel safe about what your tokens are going. And so anytime that we require you to transfer a token, that's where our audits will be focused on, because that's where that's where you're touching any of your actual RocketFi itself. So the staking, like the contract itself, both of those will be audited.
Perfect.
Okay.
So I think the second part of that question was, have you guys fully tested, not just within a test network frame, but also on the open contract to make sure that there's full functionality of all components that you guys are getting ready to release?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
we're already launched.
Yeah, we already launched, and so we definitely focused a lot heavily on the testing. I think we deployed about 50 versions of the token, and we test very thoroughly. We engaged everyone on the team on it, and used the DApp as also as another easy reference point to ensure that every balance we saw was correct, and that what we were seeing was what we expected. And so that's something that, coming from a internal tools the development background, it's in the telecom space. It's a very critical part that you do quality assurance, and so we did test this a lot. So luckily, everything went well during launch. We haven't found any issues. The only issue that we've experienced so far, something that we experienced, and while testing as well, and it's just while it's not estimating your gas correctly. And so that's where one area that's unfortunate for us to not be able to leverage is, so we kind of have to tell people to increase their gas slightly if a transaction fails with whether they're executing a burn function or something in that regard. So that's kind of out of our control there. But different DApps give different results. So it's something we're trying to do our best with supporting. So that's so far been the biggest issue, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I haven't heard of any instances on burning having the gas feature. It's just the selector, because just when you select the reflection tokens, that's the only.
Yeah. So luckily, most of the issues that we've had were all just front end. Whether something didn't refresh and they had to refresh the whole DApp, and so everything's contract wise has been looking great, and we have not seen reverts anywhere, and everything's matching with how we tested on testnet. So we're pretty proud of that.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, if that's all, I think it's time to conclude this AMA session with USA Crypto. Remember that although we've discussed and we've gone through a lot of information, it's important to do your own research. That's all. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and pitching the project and letting us know about you.
Thank you for having us, man.
Our pleasure.
Nice chat.
All right, so at the end of our giveaway, our AMA, we like to have a giveaway of a name spin wheel with a split of $50 between two people. So I will share my screen with the participants, and we will roll the dice. All right, let me shuffle it up a couple times here. We'll get started.
Let's go.
Let's go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wheezy Boo, you're out.
I thought I was going to win that horse. I was like, yeah, give that to somebody else.
Crypto Matt is eliminated. So like Andy Lee, eliminated.
Oh, these aren't the winners. They're being.
Yeah, it's gonna be the last two on the wheel.
Ah, interesting.
Seattle, you're out. Sorry, Seattle.
Mike, I don't like you, man.
At least I put my name on the wheel this time. I always forget. Jason's out. Bobby's out.
Bobby.
Apex is out. And I'm out. It's like fighting squirrels out.
Ah, you got me.
Well, that's close. Shorty's out.
It took us both out back to.
Well, that was close. J-Max out. Good Bad's out. Heavy Duty's out. Getting down. Chill's out. Looks like it's going to be Homestead's the next one out. Kangas is out. Fluff is out. Down to the last couple here. Looks like it's going to be Paul. You're out. MCM is out.
Hey, good job on that, Mike.
I tried. Godfather's out. One more. Looks like it's going to be Ricky that's out. Looks like Safe Moon and Johnson Crypto is our two winners. I will post them in chat in just a little bit.
All right.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
winners.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
That was a great AMA.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was